Splyce, this is a chance for them to improve, a chance for them to adapt in the coming weeks where the pressure will grow for them for playoffs. But for Origen, this is a battle for survival. Here's where the path may end. This team, for this organization, they'll be doomed to the promotion tournament. And there's a lot of tough competition this year. However, Spider remains banned away. The Catfish quick to follow. Zyra taken off the table as well. Looks like Splyce are more than happy to just rinse and repeat and run the same ban phase back to back.
Yep. If Origen continue with the same pattern, they're looking to ban away the Malzahar on this rotation. I think you can gamble and leave it open. You actually give Splyce the Malzahar, and then you look to pick the Lulu into it. Lulu's a very strong champion. Never mind, this point is completely invalid because they've banned away the Malzahar. I think this is a gamble because now you're either giving Wunder the option of picking Fizz, or you're giving him the option of picking Camille.
Or you take the Fizz away because there's no way Splyce are going to first pick it.
But then you're giving Wunder the opportunity to pick something into the Fizz. And
like... well, Gnar now banned off the table, so interesting opportunities here. Looks like maybe trying to bait Wunder into the Camille pick, and then now, is this going to be the Renekton Vedius, or are we just going to see the immediate pick back?
Shen is available. Shen usually is banned in every single LCS game. Now, he wasn't actually banned or picked in last game, but I think it would make a lot of sense for him to be prioritized here. He is a pretty good pick into the Camille. He can trade pretty effectively. He will eventually get outscaled, but at least during the laning phase, he's pretty solid. Origen don't like my drafting ideas, Drakos.
You're an amateur, Vedius. Clearly, Rumble was the right answer all along. Now, it could be a jungle Rumble. We have seen, I would argue, more than our fair share of jungle Rumbles today. Not a huge fan of the pick, but OG, you know, maybe putting this in the top lane as well.
Like, Rumble is fine early game. He'll push the Camille in, but he gets outscaled much sooner than the Camille. The difference is Rumble has a much bigger teamfight impact than, say, a Shen necessarily would. So perhaps Origen are just saying, look, we're going to try and force you into fights, which with the Rumble, we should have an advantage, given that you are playing Camille.
Yeah, Camille, of course, not known for insane fight presence without a significant lead. Wunder did build one last game, but the thing that makes me excited about this game is that Lee Sin, Vedius, giving Cinkroff a champion where he can start to dictate the pace of the game. But right as I say that, the opposite side, Trashy, now getting his hands on the Gragas, and this is the absolute definition of comfort. Oh, yeah. Run it back. Run it back.
Wait, we forgot. We completely forgot that this was Mikyx who brought out the bottom lane Camille. It's the Ziggs Camille bottom lane.
Love watching Splyce games.
Oh, Splyce. They got us. They got us.
The thing that's the best part about this, and the worst part is, I have no confidence that anything is as we're putting it right now. Like, I could be a Fizz mid, a Camille top, Gragas jungle. The only thing I'm reasonably sure of is the Gragas jungle.
But even then, that could be a Gragas top. It's a pretty safe top laner. Wunder can play it. You can look to then put Trashy on like a Kha'Zix. You don't know. Like, I mean, that could be Fizz jungle too. Highly unlikely.
Well, there's a pick ban phase, and then there's the Splyce mystery power hour where you never know where anything's gonna go. Lulu, though, we can be pretty sure is going to the bot lane. OG, we know where we can expect everything to go. And I think they're pretty confident in assuming it will be the support Camille, it will be the Fizz top, it will be the Gragas jungle. And the mid lane bans continue to be the trend here in the second pick ban phase, almost identical to the previous pick ban overall.
By doing this, what you're enabling is the possibility for the Fizz to go in mid, because I remember having a conversation with Perks about this a long time ago where I'm like, oh, you know, have you seen all these recent Fizz changes? I actually think it could be pretty good. And he's like, yeah, but the big problem you have with Fizz is that his laning phase is like super weak and he can be really easily bullied by champions like Syndra and Ryze. Now, bear in mind, Syndra's now been banned away. Ryze has experienced a lot of nerfs, and you want to take away these early game champions which are very good at punishing champions.
And I like this Ziggs ban coming in from Origen. They do not want to give over the Camille Ziggs bot lane combo, which we have affectionately called the boombox due to the alt combo. And it makes sense. You don't want to give them the early pushing advantage. We already saw what Splyce could do with an early game lead. You give them early game champions, they are sure to kind of just run away with this one. But Splyce taking away the chase, that has been the NaeHyun special.
Now, if you're Origen looking at a possible... it's so difficult. Like, Ezreal, I think, would be the safest, but you're going to have a rough laning phase. Why do I bother predicting? Why?
Shout out to the Korean mid laners in European LCS for playing Talon. We saw it in the hands of Knights. It was an immaculate performance despite losing in the end. Now we're going to see how NaeHyun handles it, how he can pilot this pick to his advantage. And it's...
Oh, bear in mind, Kobbe had a lot of success on both Lucian and Caitlyn in last split, two of his strongest champions. But he was just teasing us, a bit of a taster. We'll just continue with what he played last split.
Mickey.
Stop it, don't bait for the hover. We've fallen for it before.
He's playing with our hearts, ladies and gentlemen. Don't trust him. Okay, that one you can trust. Vladimir now locked in. This is the Sencux special. When we saw Sencux kind of going from 7th place Splyce mid laner to approaching top of the table Splyce mid laner, it was Splyce, it was these team fighting comps, and it was this Vladimir pick backing him up. So this is old school comfort coming in once again for him. You've got comfort for Trashy as well, and I like the comp Splyce have put together. You've got a playmaker once again for Mickey on the Camille. You've got a frontline tank in the form of Gragas. You've got two fantastic split pushes in the form of Fizz and Vladimir. And oh my word, we are seeing the Lulu Kog'Maw. Yes. Ooh. Now, notoriously people are critical of this lane because it is a lot of right click and hope that you kill people. Yes. But when you can kill people, you can kill everybody. Kog'Maw is terrifying. Now, people may not believe me, but Origen actually have a fantastic team fight composition. People don't appreciate how good Talon actually is in team fights. And I'd highly recommend, if you didn't watch the previous game with Roccat versus Giants, go and watch Knight play Talon, because he did such a fantastic job of utilizing how easy it is to set up flanks, how easy it is to actually dive onto the backline and be such a big kill threat. And once he instigates, once he dives onto that priority target, then you have this Kog'Maw just run in with the Lulu. He's pretty much a tank at that point, and he just steamrolls. He just stands there like an artillery weapon, just sieging through the entire lineup of Splyce. It's an exciting comp, but it's very difficult to get to that point in the game. Very difficult against a Fizz, against a Camille, against a Gragas as well. A lot of pressure put onto Tabzz in this composition, but this is excited. Origen fans, you're going to need the proverbial spirit bomb of hashtag OG wins at LoL eSports. Origen are down. Splyce are up, but Splyce, can they take it with the 2-0? Hashtag SPY win is what you need to put in. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2. Loading bars rolling up. Game getting ready. I'm going to give you a hype moment. It's coming. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's do or die time for Origen, as it has been in the last few weeks. They've found single wins. They've yet to find a series, but can they turn it back? Can they pull the nail out, as Splyce are so determined to drive it home? Red side once again. You've got Talon, you've got Kog'Maw, you've got a Camille support, and a Fizz top. This is going to be an explosive game. And he's red now. He is chosen red. He has decided to choose red. Just mixing things up. Splyce have actually grouped up as a 5-man unit, trying to get a better vision around OG's jungle. Want to see where Cinkroff is starting. Will enable Wunder to understand what he wants to do. Now, we can talk a little bit more about this Fizz versus Rumble matchup as we get into the laning phase, but just keep your eyes on what Origen is doing while they know that Splyce is getting all this deep vision in, because the common practice is to respond vision with vision. If you can see all these members of Splyce trying to get knowledge of where the enemy jungler is, what you'd expect OG to be doing is doing the same, either dropping a ward down on the red buff, maybe dropping a ward down on the Krugs. They're not doing this. Tabzz and xpeke immediately went to lane, and they're actually setting up for a deep brush, bait, or trap, so they can get a huge chunk of damage early on onto Kobbe and Mikyx. And it is that double range advantage that they have on the bottom side of the map, so finding early advantage here could be big. Waiting for the brush. Mikyx taking a lot of damage. Hookshot, wall dive in, is not concerned. Adaptive defenses, and Tabzz actually taking a poor end of that trade in the end. That's really cool. Mikyx going for the Courage of the Colossus meant the moment he went in, landed the stun, he had a shield on top of his passive, which meant that he was guaranteed to win out on that trade, even in a 2 versus 1. Really well played from Mikyx, no hesitation whatsoever. And they know they can look to make these sort of aggressive moves because they know where Cinkroff is this early part of the jungle. Moving forward, now Kobbe's running in as well. Double exhaust burn. Tab's gonna burn heal as well. Splyce starting off aggressive on the bottom side. Level 1 all-in play from the Splyce bottom lane, utilizing the fact that Ezreal has a huge amount of damage early on into the game. The stun coming out from Mikyx is just so potent. They end up trading 1 summoner spell for 2. They're just going to continue on with this level of pressure. Stun once again. Interesting to see. More aggression coming out. Early jungle pathing. We did see Satorius take actually a few of the Raptors. Did stop Cinkroff from getting the immediate level 2. Does still get level 3 in the end, but gives Satorius a little bit of a lane advantage here.
So, well, we're seeing a lot of trading down bottom. Wunder shouldn't have an easy time like he did in game 1, because by going against Rumble, Rumble is a natural early game lane bully. He's all about getting that early push, putting a lot of harass down, and one of the weaknesses we were discussing about Fizz is his early game is often pretty weak. If he can get a free lane, that's ideally what he wants. He wants to work towards that Trinity Force, the Blade of the Ruin King. That's the point in which he becomes this big dueling menace. But Rumble does a great job of just shutting him down early on, constantly forcing him under his tower, losing a lot of farm, and it makes his life difficult. So now we see a gank
running forward. They're trying to take him down. He's just going to get first blood. Oh, gets the empowered. Is the Q going to come out from Cinkroff? Wants to follow it up. Moving forward. Flash out to safety. That's disaster for OG.
Sencux, well played, good sir. That was a fantastic outplay. NaeHyun, he tries to go for the all-in. He doesn't respect the turnaround damage from Sencux. Need to go back and watch the replay because I wasn't entirely sure if he had his passive up and available. But if he did, the fact that NaeHyun would go for an all-in at that point in time was just a big mistake.
He did. He had the Crimson Rush.
Well,
he
that was
triggered
the mistake,
it. Did
right?
so much healing. There's no way that... And you just wait. You back off. You wait for Cinkroff. He is right there. But we're going to have to focus on the bottom side because the fights just keep happening. xpeke has to flash to safety. Mikyx taking decent damage. Tactical sweep to back it out. Kobbe just continues to get aggressive. This is so bad for OG.
This bottom lane harassment from Kobbe and Mikyx, I just love how brazen they are, not afraid to just dive in whenever that stun is available. It's a pretty long cooldown at early levels, but they know that they should be able to win out on these trades, especially with a big minion wave backing you up.
Yeah, 16 seconds, all the time it takes before they're going to find another engage. We can watch this one.
So here, you can see the Crimson Rush is starting to stack up. The jungler is coming in, and then Sencux, he just gets this massive heal and a huge amount of burst damage. That was just a big misplay from NaeHyun. Big misplay. He should have been more patient.
And the crazy part, too, is that they shifted the damage around. So the Crimson Rush isn't as critical as it once used to be, but it's still powerful. Not quite double damage anymore, but a lot. Mikyx, though. Ooh, walks to safety, but Trashy's here now. How confident are OG feeling? Maybe a little bit too confident. There's no flash available on xpeke. He's going to go down. Tabzz potentially next. Trashy flashing forward. Mikyx with the extend. That's 2 kills for Splyce.
Beautiful setup from Splyce. OG, they thought that they could punish Mikyx for trying to freeze the wave. He'd just taken a huge amount of damage that OG felt confident enough to try and push this underneath the turret. Reset the wave, go back to base, pick up some items. Instead, they get caught overextending. Trashy comes in from the flank, and he's able to punish the no flash pet game. Tabzz, he couldn't get out either. He ends up giving away his life, and Splyce off to another fantastic early game.
Even better than last game, I think we can safely say. 3-0 at the start. And this is, I feel for OG. I've been there. You think you're good, you're winning the lane, you get confident.
I mean, look at Mikyx's health. You think that, hey, we can do this. And then the heal comes out. Trashy's there being like, surprise, want to have a drink? And it looks like OG, they just couldn't hold it. They drank a little bit too much.
Oh, the wall dive flash. Nice mechanical plays there coming in. This is pretty much the exact start you want. Now, Ezreal, not a really strong early game laner. Neither is Kog'Maw. Ezreal, of course, only after that post tier, but Camille getting this early start, bot lane already winning. It's going to be so difficult for OG just to survive here in the early game.
Well, so far, they're not doing a great job of surviving, and that's certainly true. 3-0 already in the favor of Splyce. And you and I talked about it, Drakos. Moving forward, looking ahead, week 9, week 10 for Splyce. As a team, they're very much about setting themselves up to be a contender for this playoff and maybe making it to that top 4 spot.
And right now for Splyce, it has to be all about week 10. We talk about week 9, that's Vitality, but week 10, that's H2K, Unicorns of Love back-to-back. But right now, it's Satorius who's got his back to the wall. Wunder moving forward, waiting for the mark to proc, gonna leap in, not gonna get it in the end. Cinkroff now moving forward, Wunder is out of mana. Ooh, nice sidestep from Wunder, gonna save his life there.
Good utilization of the minions from Wunder to also guarantee that the Q would not land. He doesn't have any mana, he doesn't have TP, so he's gonna be forced to back. But look at Splyce.
Leaping forward, xpeke has to be careful, tries to use the glitter lance. He wants to keep Trashy away. No interest in taking a dance with the fat man. Now Tabzz backing off as well. Are they gonna commit to this? Tactical sweep slows him down. Trashy just gonna back out.
Well, Splyce, they're just trying to make the cross-map play onto the bottom tower. The problem is they don't have a minion wave yet. They have to force Origen's bottom away from that objective as well. but the fact that first tower gold will go in the favor of Cinkroff and Satorius is definitely a much-needed boon of gold to find your way back into the game.
And OG, they were so confident. Oh, Wunder, though, he may be the one who's so confident. Oh, leaps out, leaps in.
Smooth move.
But this is
Wunder.
good for OG. They get a tower. They are fighting back. Those 3 kills not mattering too much right now, but Tabzz is going to have to be careful. Ult goes in. Tabzz still alive. Tabzz still healthy. Mikyx taking way too much tower damage. Tabzz, who's he going to pop on? Moving in. Just going to blow up on the creep wave or on Trashy and Kobbe. xpeke still alive, still comfortable. NaeHyun coming over the wall. Here comes the parkour. Trashy, there's no good way out of this. Out comes the Shadow Assault. He wants a little bit more. 2 kills picked up for NaeHyun.
So Origen do a great job of buying time. They actually end up getting 3 kills for 2, and they will hold on to their bottom tier 1 turret. This is the best case scenario for Origen, and they are fighting back against the overzealous and somewhat greedy
And now it's
Splyce.
even, and it's good that you call it, because that is what it is, Vedius. That was greedy on the top side from Wunder. No knowledge of where the jungler in. He wants to pick a fight. It worked out so well against the Gragas. Doesn't have the same liberty against the Rumble.
Now you're going to be giving a double kill over to Talon, who is not someone you really can afford to be giving kills over to. While Splyce in game 1 had an overfed Wunder, if that same Wunder goes up against an overfed Talon, things may very well go differently. But you can see now, OG just do a great job of buying time. Peke took a number of points, a couple of extra points into his W, and with Kobbe being taken out of the fight, that's a lot of damage actually unavailable in favor of Splyce, which means that they can just buy time, they can wait for NaeHyun to join the fight. And because Trashy just took 1 too many tower shots, yes, sure, they couldn't keep Peke alive, but the fact that this ended up in a 3 for 2 going in the favor of Origen, you couldn't really ask for much more.
So far, so good for OG. They gave up a lot in the early game, but they clawed back. They found an advantage for themselves, and they're not out of this yet. And while Splyce maybe is focusing on that week 10, focusing on what's ahead of them, OG just have this game right in front of them.
So now things have slowed down, things have calmed. We need to look ahead as to where things are going, because the state of the map will open Satorius up to now make these movements. Dragon is available, could be a point of contention for Origen, especially with this great teamfight composition that they do have. The big issue is they need Tabzz to be online. Blade of the Ruin King is a very big spike for this Kog'Maw, which OG should look to try and utilize. But the fact that Satorius is now making these movements around the map, he does have his TP as well, should just give a little bit more control over the map to Origen.
Interesting, I've never seen Rift Herald spawn ever, so that was a cool moment for me. Rift Herald's now available. Thank you, observers. I don't know if that's going to be a huge focus here.
Give it to Talon. Make him purpler. To be more purple is to be a greater individual. And just like Wunder, now being red this game, he actually had a great game 1 on this Fizz. We did talk a little bit about it and how game 2, he doesn't quite have the same level of impact as he was having in game 1. This Rumble and Satorius and Cinkroff doing a great job of just taking away that early tower and denying this Fizz as much as they can.
Well, OG trying to find themselves an early game objective. Only 10 minutes in, so the Ocean Drake's still pretty relevant to have. But the laning phase not over yet. OG grouped up. Mikyx maybe overstaying his welcome. Kick flash not going to work. We'll take a look back at that one. Looks like the hook shot wall dive interaction. Timing perfectly coming in on Mikyx.
I think it's because what happened is he threw out the hook as the kick was coming in, so the hook still landed, which means that, oh, Cinkroff
pulls into the wall. Trashy now trying to get something in. Mikyx leaps forward again. Is going to use the Hextech ultimatum. Tabzz, no safety from Wunder, but the equalizer goes in. Not going to stop the fight, though. Splyce take the advantage.
Satorius was just a little bit too late to the party. Why didn't he teleport in behind Splyce? Splyce now committing to this objective. NaeHyun
goes forward. Shadow Assault comes out. Decent damage going in. NaeHyun goes out. That's nice play. He's going to leap over again. No. Blue buff ticks down. Shut down for Kobbe. Ignite and forget. Now moving forward for more. Sencux has to play safe.
And that would have been a great opportunity for Origen to fight. The Dragon was exactly the kind of objective where they could have utilized this Rumble, where they could have utilized this flanking Talon. But instead, the coordination just wasn't there. OG coming in at different times. Why was Satorius so late to the party? Like, he could have landed such a perfect ultimate right into that choke point between Blue and Dragon, and it's actually Splyce that are actually the instigators. Look at where Rumble is. He is nowhere near to this fight. Like, look at that fantastic choke point where you could be throwing an ultimate right now, and instead you landed onto pretty much no one.
And this is the exact fight you do not want to have against a Vladimir.
No.
OG almost all the pieces were in place for them to force a fight. But Sencux,
I love this decision, though, from Origen, where they realize that NaeHyun still has his entire kit up. They could still very well turn things around and maybe get a kill. And if NaeHyun gets away, this actually ends up being an even trade, besides the fact that Origen do lose the dragon. But it shows the potential now. NaeHyun, he's still pretty strong at this point in the game.
oh, Wunder, Mikyx, the dive duo now moving forward. Satorius is in trouble. Sencux has got the damage to back them up. He's going to break. Sencux now unstoppable. Game 1, this was the story of Wunder. Game 2, Sencux 5-0. That is a dream start for any mid laner.
Mikyx asserting his dominance as the superior robot here on the Rift, is able to get themselves another kill down on the top side, and now with the two-man unit of Origen, they should be able to hold for the time being. But look at the bottom lane. You still have Kobbe pushing up there. You have Trashy pushing in the mid lane. So while Splyce, they make stuff happen on the top side of the map. It is Origen that are always trying to react, trying to save whatever they can. And it's just alleviating pressure from the other side for Splyce to start knocking on the door of those towers.
Yeah, continuing to keep the pressure up. OG still only down less than 2,000 gold, however. Not going to be the end of the world for these guys. You know, Camille isn't a robot, by the way.
Hey, she is with this skin. She's a robot, dude.
I don't think skins change. I mean, the core champion.
She's definitely a robot.
She's just a woman with blade legs.
Nope, she's a robot.
Look, man.
Have you ever seen the film I, Robot? The first time I heard that, I just thought that the robots were illiterate, and they go, I, Robot. In fact, that's not what it meant. It's more of a deeper philosophical meaning. You're a philosophical man. Did you get it?
I'm going to focus on the game. I don't even know what to say to you. You exist in such a different world than me, Vedius. Sencux, however, the world of Runeterra, the world of trying to one-shot xpeke. And that world looks pretty good for him. There's 3 members of OG here, one of which is standing on a ward, so no surprises. Now continuing to keep the pressure up, but they don't really have any tools to break down this tower. OG, though, pushing in waves, mounting pressure on the map. What else are they going to find?
Now, given that Sencux doesn't have his ultimate available, it will enable OG to start putting a little bit more weight towards this tower. They actually have a 4-man unit. Peke's on his way back. Notice that Wunder, he's moving his way through the river right now. OG, they instead say, you know what, we don't want to commit to this tower right now. We're going to play it cool. We're going to play it chill. Not a massive gold deficit, while the kills are heavily in the favor of Splyce. Note that they actually haven't been able to take any turrets as of yet, which is enabling OG to still feel pretty confident, still feel comfortable enough to actually trade back against Splyce.
Looks good for him so far. Kog'Maw has the Blade of the Rune King, as you talked about as well, as he gets more items. We'll hit that mid-game stride once you have a few under the belt. So many on-hit effects to dish out the damage.
I still remember that G2 versus Fnatic game where Reckless was playing Kog'Maw, who got shut down all game. And then all of a sudden, he comes back late into the game. He literally stands still with Lulu.
Okay.
He had 4 times
let's be honest. That was my least favorite Weird of all time. The stand still with 5.0 attack speed Kog'Maw and kill everyone.
But the point I'm trying to illustrate is while that's not the same Kog'Maw that we have now, it's the late game power. And Origen always have that window in the bag, right? No matter how far behind they fall, if Kog'Maw gets like 3, 4, especially 5 items, you overstep even remotely and he melts you. Literally like a volcano falls on top of you. It's that severe.
Oh, Mikyx. No volcano on top of Mikyx. We're not there yet, though, Vedius. 1-3-4 the scoreline for Tabzz. He's not getting too much CS either. 107 to the 146 on the side of Kobbe. Most of this gold lead is just CS differentials to this stage of the game. 144 to 124 in the mid lane. Looks grim. Mikyx, though, may be able to stay in the welcome. Kick, go in. No, exhaust goes down. Hop right back out.
Good heal there from Kobbe. Now Splyce, they're forced to retreat. But Mikyx, shame on you for face checking. You had a Gragas with you. You could have thrown a barrel into the brush. Regardless, now NaeHyun goes aggressive.
Wants to get a little bit more. Pool's going to actually take health away from Sencux. Flash to safety. Ooh, runs in. Crimson Rush, and that's a rush for Sencux.
Great outplay from the Vladimir, but now Cinkroff, he's coming to try and clean up.
Wants a little bit more. Crimson Rush on the way. It's going to be a big healing differential. Can he get it off? No. Shutdown for Cinkroff. That's a nice move back from OG, the shutdown.
And Vladimir ends up in a pile of his own blood, but he is still able to get himself the 1 versus 1. Will result in a tower in the top lane for Splyce as well. So you're now starting to see the power of this Vladimir in a side lane. Itemizing very heavily towards damage. And And it actually sets up Splyce very nicely to take this mid tower, as well as move towards that dragon. For Cinkroff, he's hanging off in the flank.
At this stage, Splyce now control the map once again, but it's not nearly as much of a lead as they found themselves in the previous game. It was 6K at 15 minutes for Splyce.
So Splyce haven't quite had the same level of impact, and it very much rounds back into what we were talking about, Wunder, and how he is an individual. He loves this meta. He's able to now play more carry champions. And while he couldn't quite be able to solo kill Satorius on the Rumble,
He just got overeager.
Yeah. He's still having a good game. His 0-1 and 3 Trinity Force is now done. He's still a potent split pusher at this point in the game, but Satorius isn't so far behind that he won't be able to hold him.
And at the end of the day, OG may be the bottom team in the EULCS, but they're still the bottom team of the EULCS. They are a competitive team. If you give them these opportunities, they will take them. They will find them. NaeHyun, though, continues his aggressive fight onto Sencux, waiting for the Crimson Rush to fade away. Sencux just heals right back up. Vladimir just so far ahead at this point in the game. NaeHyun can't really do anything. Full combo used, traded for very little back.
The vision in the river resulted in Sencux realizing that he couldn't go for that all-in. But good movements from Splyce to just instantly rotate around to the mid lane, get themselves that tower. Will be a tower trade in the end. Satorius forced a flash because of the dive that came out from Mikyx. And again, look at Wunder in the top lane. He's just been left alone. He's knocking onto that tower once again.
The attack speed Fizz is coming in. Fox said maybe we'll see the tank when Wunder falls behind a little bit, but now he wants to go in on the fight. Hextech ultimatum used on xpeke. They've isolated them, left him alone, but Tabzz can continue to dish out the damage. Equalizer goes in, but it's not hitting anybody. OG looking for a little bit more, but it's just the disengage in the end. One member weaker.
And it's OG to instigate the dragon, and it's Splyce to respond as they go into Cinkroff.
Goes in, Cinkroff leaps out, nice forward to try to make it to safety, but it's not enough. The Hemo Plague, Tabzz still alive, maybe able to get something back, can't get it in the end. Heals up, and Wunder comes in for the cleanup. Double kill for the fish.
You can see Sencux, he's annoyed about that play. That was gonna be his kill. Wunder laughs as he steals it away from him.
He flashed for that.
Yeah, he did. Hey, he's the fish. He deserves the kills. Vampires get enough blood as it is.
He's not a vampire. What is it with you and just...
He is now, to me, the Lord of
See,
blood.
there's a difference. Like, look, if he's mad, it's like hemomancy. You feel me? You know, like he uses blood, magic,
like
understand?
necromancer.
So, like, when you're Annie and you're a pyromancer, it doesn't mean that you eat fire. That's not what that means.
It doesn't? So you're telling me that those people at the circus that eat the fire and then blow it out are not pyromancers?
I mean, technically, maybe they are.
Oh, yeah, they are. Get schooled. Right. Speaking of getting schooled, you can see the OG, they try to set up for this dragon, but they end up getting flanked from Wunder again. Look at the positioning of Satorius. This is the second time now that we've seen him try to join a fight. Just too late. He's not in the optimal position to really utilize his strengths. And OG, they're still hanging around. They still feel confident enough to commit, but NaeHyun can't get the proper flank off this time. Tabzz doesn't have the adequate amount of support. And again, just Satorius not having the same level of impact as Wunder is.
And it's really rough because you have the equalizer. Yes, it does an insane amount of damage, especially with the Leandries, but they have to stand in it. And you have no CC to keep them there outside of the Lee Sin kick. Lulu, Whimsy as well, potentially an option, but I mean, it's just really hard for OG to play out these team comps. I feel like they've built themselves something incredibly hard to play as we move forward in the game, where Splyce have so many tools to just start fights.
I mean, the thing for OG is, like, I'd actually argue that their comp is easier to play than Splyce's, right? Like, the big issue that OG have is that they've fallen behind in the early game, which has allowed Sencux and Wunder to be strong, independent laners, both on the side lanes. They've picked up a lot of big items, but also OG just in their setup for a lot of these fights. They have the vision, they're there preemptively against Splyce, but then they just don't coordinate properly. They don't utilize this comp that they should be able to better utilize.
Now, however, the itemization coming in. Wunder oozing confidence as he picks up the Medjai's Soul Stealer. Looks like 7 stacks already.
Yep, that's why he flashed for it.
Wants a little bit more. Satorius goes golden. Fish goes up. Wunder goes out. Equalizer comes down. That's actually really good. Trashy potentially going to get taken out of the fight. That's a good play coming in from Cinkroff. They're going to get it. Wunder fails the troll pole. Good start to the team. Another kill goes down as Knight gets something. Tabzz! Oh, that's so much Vladimir damage. Here comes the Crimson Rush. NaeHyun makes it out. Blast Cone out. Extra fancy. Not going to use the Blast Cone in the end. Potentially a risky choice. Oh, what?
Oh, no, NaeHyun!
I didn't know you could... Oh, it goes over another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another... No! NaeHyun, it has a 2-second cooldown. Oh.
Feels bad, man. NaeHyun ends up running into the wall. Not quite as planned. But we saw overconfidence from Wunder and Trashy. We saw them trying to get a 2v2 kill down on Satorius and Cinkroff. They actually played that very well, but unfortunately for them, it was not quite enough. And Splyce, they return in kind, getting themselves 2 kills onto Tabzz and NaeHyun. And we are starting to see how difficult it can be to properly execute this Kog'Maw.
Gotta say, those who look at this replay, Satorius and Cinkroff recover well from what should have been a disastrous play.
It was a good response, like the kick into the Rumble ultimate, Trashy being forced to flash, and then Wunder.
Oh, you can see NaeHyun up here on the top side.
Oh, Mikyx died as well in the top side. Didn't even notice that. Just utterly distracted. But then Sencux, Vladimir.
And the other thing that you're seeing there is Ezreal's at that dream point, right? He's got the Trinity Force, he's got the fully completed Muramana, and so he's hitting like a truck too. And pretty much every member of the Splyce lineup is strong at this stage.
Now this is the most kills for Sencux this split. You see now.
Trying to fancy footwork his way in. Mikyx gonna hookshot wall dive forward, but right into the hands of NaeHyun. He grabs one, exhaust goes down. Wunder TP's in, but OG just walking away.
Good damage from NaeHyun, is able to get himself the pick. And now Satorius, he's on the retreat from Kobbe.
80 carry, hunting down.
Does he have a map for this is the real question. He's getting a little lost right now. Kobbe, open your map, goddammit. Nope, doesn't have one.
I love how literally you take the word, and sometimes not at all. The inconsistencies are wonderful. Oh, Cinkroff. Interesting choice. Down he goes. Not a whole lot to say about that one. Kobbe leaps forward. Good damage comes in from Splyce. What is Cinkroff doing?
It was the, my mind's telling me no. And he thought that because he was in a 4 versus 4, maybe he can go for it. Now Sencux in a 1v3.
NaeHyun, his body's telling him yes.
Go on,
Move
Sencux.
forward. Kobbe goes forward. Tabzz, he's all alone on the backside. There's no one there to peel for him. Down goes the Hextech Idolmatum. Tabzz holding on for dear life, but he just gets taken.
The Void Puppy gets collapsed upon by the robot. Can't quite escape from that. It doesn't matter if you flash, doesn't matter if you heal. Splyce, they have the collapse and to be able to get themselves another kill. Now 6k gold lead. They're looking for more kills though.
17 stack. Medjai's Soul Stealer.
Not bad, not bad. But it's not quite 20 yet, is it?
They can go to 25, can't it?
Can he, Wunder? It can in fact go to 25. But that's what I'm saying. 20 is the benchmark with which I consider it to be a good Soul Season.
Yes, from all our other Soul Stealer games. Well, Peke, he's trying to make the hero play. Cinkroff goes in, he gets it, that's nice! Woo! Say what you want, but that's a highlight reel moment. The fight starts to fall apart, but the Baron still drops for OG in the end.
Look at Trashy's face. He knew he done goofed. He thought there's no way they could get this steal. Cinkroff just comes in, he's like, mine! Fantastic stuff from the OG jungler. If nothing else, he has that.
I just honestly feel bad for Trashy at this point. He's missed so many smites this season. I mean, you can see the team kind of just, well, not the team, Wunder. Wunder's laughing at him. The rest of the team still very focused, clearly.
And you know that they're saying like, hey, we already have a lead, it's fine if we lose it. But look at this, uses the Q into the smite. Beautiful stuff from Cinkroff. He can't get out, but that's fine, because they still get Baron onto 3 members of Origen. They'll take that, buy more time. He's like, did anyone see that?
That's my face when I become a meme. Poor Trashy.
Maybe they should just avoid Barons. You can see like in Yamato's,
I wonder if that's a discussion. Like,
Yamato's
do
notebook.
we Baron?
No, he's like, Yamato's notebook has like a page on each player, right? So he's like, Wunder, like, prefers split pushes to tanks. Good, note that down, note that down. He's been playing Fizz recently, great.
Yep.
Sencux, Vladimir, great mid lane champion for him.
Solid, agreed. We'll
he
write
likes
that down.
split pushes too, great, we'll write that down. Trashy, Trashy. Baron, question mark? No, let's avoid that.
We'll put that in the bad column.
I mean, he's a great tank. His Gragas is fantastic. He's been playing well overall.
At the end of the day, remember that this Baron does just buy time. Origen holding on. Now, the later we get in the game, the more potential there is to move into a teamfight with some parity, to move into the teamfight on even footing. But we're not there yet. And it's still going to be a tough road. Baron actually not going to buy any time. Splyce just grouping up and sieging down these towers.
Splyce like, you know what? We're just going to go into the gravity chamber right now. We're just playing on 100 gravity. It's fine. They want to improve going into week 10, right? They wanted to play on hard mode.
Is that what hard mode is in League of Legends?
Well,
just like
playing against the Baroned up team, yeah, I think it becomes a little difficult. Have a look at Wunder though, he's still sitting on the side lane, up in the top. Splyce need to wait for him to start pressuring onto that tier 2 tower before they can really commit onto these inhibitor towers.
Oh.
5-man group of OG.
Surprise. Not going to be a surprise. Mikyx doesn't want to go over the wall. Probably a smart choice. Cannot afford to fight the Rumble in a funnel no matter how far ahead you are, but it's the tier 2 tower set in their sights. Where's Satorius? Where's the ultimate going to go? Splyce not coming in yet. Mikyx locks down Satorius. In goes the ultimate. NaeHyun comes over the wall. He's looking to get his way onto Kobbe. He may be able to take him down. Leaps forward, leaps over the wall, takes him out, makes it to safety. Ignite's ticking down. He's slowly burning, but is he going to drop? Doesn't look like it. Oh, Mikyx wants to change that. Slows him up. No, tack sweep knocks him down.
But look at this fight for Origen. They end up only losing 1 member, and they get 2 kills. Kog'Maw, he's at 2.5 items. He is starting to hit like that volcano that we were talking about. He is beginning to erupt all over Splyce. And yes, Splyce, they managed to get themselves that turret. But the fact that Origen are able to fight back in a couple of these instances, you have to wonder, like, hey, Splyce, how many greedy mistakes can you make? How many times can you disrespect Origen before you end up losing a bigger lead than you planned for?
Can you just do me a solid and never describe anything as erupting all over something?
Got it, got it.
All right, thank you. Well, Kog'Maw now moving towards a 3rd attack speed item, maybe a Wit's End, maybe a Gwinsu's Rage Blade. Just double down on that ability to proc on-hit effects. But we take a look at the fight one more time. Starts off pretty well.
Just keep your eyes on Tabzz at the top lane. Look, he's just sitting at the back. He has plenty of peel from xpeke, and Wunder going in by himself just nowhere near enough to be able to kill Tabzz.
And OG
then NaeHyun
split up.
Coming in from the flank. This is the power of Talon, though, in these team fights. Just being able to... He has so much mobility that a lot of people do not realize. And it just sucks that Mikyx also has a lot of mobility, so that NaeHyun can't get away.
Hook shot, wall dive. I feel like if he hadn't stopped there for a brief second to try and channel the recall, he may have been able to leap over a few more walls to make it to safety.
Oh, that's rough. Minus 75.
Keep in mind, so all the gold that you get from taking Baron, I believe, is included in that power play. So that nullified completely. And then another 75 taken away on the side of Splyce. You can see the gold totals on the bottom of your screen right now. Most members 1 to 2K ahead of their counterparts. NaeHyun, one of the few members mostly keeping up, only down 1,000 gold himself.
Now I am a little disappointed in Splyce because, Mikyx.
Cinkroff moves forward. Mikyx tries to use the parry to kid safety. Cinkroff kicks him out so he can walk to freedom. In comes the Ezreal, hits multiple members. Now the retreat. Satorius, nice flash.
OG.
I feel like we've seen this before, Vedius.
We have seen this before. Wunder in a side lane.
Oh,
Satorius.
Satorius not going to take the fish in the end. Splyce now need to be careful. They can't afford to take a bad fight, but Satorius just gets deleted.
5-man collapse from Splyce now is going to result in an inhibitor. I don't think the Origen have any answers for it. The Kog'Maw, he's going to be forced to back away.
Oh, the last rites of Origen.
Things are looking hopeful for Origen. I mean, they looked pretty good in that fight in the top lane, but Splyce recognized the mistake. They said, you know what, let's not try and 5v5. Let's just split them up. Let's go back to our 1-3-1. It was working for us in game 1. We have a comp designed for it, so let's just leave it as it is, keep playing that way, and they're able to get themselves a kill onto Satorius, which then opens up the base for them to move into
Wunder.
OG side of the map.
Kick goes in. Cinkroff follows up. Mikyx's still here. Is he going to stop the back? Looks like he's just going to keep running. I don't know how much longer Cinkroff can chase. Wants to keep going. Urchin strike through. Nice mechanics from Wunder, but is the escape in the end? Now Baron 35 seconds away. Could
do Splyce go for it? That's the big question mark. The thing is, they have an exposed inhibitor down bottom. Splyce can very easily play around this because Satorius is going to be forced to go down. There was a window just there, given that Wunder still hasn't gone back yet, for OG to actually get a bit of deep vision around Baron. But the pings are coming down from Splyce. They're saying, you know what, Trashy? It was a bit of a mistake first time round. We're going to give you another shot. But how many opportunities can you really give this man?
One shot, Vedius.
One opportunity? Just the one?
Just the one.
Oh, well.
Well, or maybe two, because I mean, they may just try to take the Baron.
I think they're going to try again.
Not everything is the way Eminem wrote. Although Cinkroff may have one shot to escape. Actually, no chances now as the Hextech ultimatum falls. Down comes the heal, though. Team safe for
Here
now.
comes
Sencux
Wunder.
move forward. All goes out. Mikyx on the front line. Equalizer to try to find the disengage. NaeHyun trying to leap into the back line. He's going to try to get Kobbe. Leaps out to safety. Parkour right back out. xpeke safe for now. Health bar's low, but Tabzz starting to dish out some damage here. Ult burn.
Look at Tabzz.
Still alive, but Sencux is the real threat here. Trashy moves forward. Sencux moving in as well. Tabzz may just get taken down. Kobbe's still alive. Mikyx leaps forward. Splyce are tearing through OG. NaeHyun and xpeke, they're holding on, but it may be too little too late. Wunder leaps down. xpeke, he's doomed to fall. NaeHyun, he's next on the menu. They clean up. Splyce with the ace.
They get themselves the teamfight win that they have so desperately trying to get for such a long time. With 5 members dead from OG, Splyce could look to end the game.
Moving in, it's going to be quick, it's going to be clean, it's going to be the 2-0, and for all Origen's effort to fight back, they will find themselves in the promotion tournament, and Splyce will move up overall in the series. It's a 2-0 for this week. They got to get ready, they got to move forward towards the playoffs, and this is a great start for them to have.
Splyce, convincing game 1. Not quite so convincing game 2. Definitely up and down a little bit.
The 30-minute win at every lane.
It wasn't
still
convincing.
It wasn't as convincing.
They lost a lot of
game
fights.
1.
They lost the
Fair.
Baron. But I think that was very much overconfidence, a bit of disrespect, and having a bit of fun. I know we certainly had fun on this cast. And you can see that a lot of the players from Splyce certainly enjoyed it too.
Tabzz actually with a smile on his face as well. I mean, when you think when you're Origen, the next step for you, obviously, you have a few more weeks in the LCS. You have a chance to scrim, and now you have a chance to get ready for the promotion tournament. And while it's not where you want to be, you know you're going to be there weeks ahead of time. So you do have the luxury of prepping. You can look at the opposition. You know who the real opponents are. It's no longer these LCS teams. It is those challenger rosters.
There are a lot of scary challenger rosters this split. The promotion tournament will be kicking off tomorrow with Schalke 04 versus Misfits Academy. Would highly recommend that you guys check that out to see who of those two teams will be making their way into the promotion tournament. But Splyce, they're well and clear of the promotion tournament right now. They have a very healthy record, and they're looking good, they're looking strong. I think that if they restrain themselves a little bit, they definitely can put up a very solid fight against the Unicorns of Love, as well as H2K.
And we have to think, I mean, they're not out of the running for second place yet. They're not committed to that third place spot. So if they continue to play well, if they continue to dominate their games, there may be room for them to move up in the seeding. And the difference between being that second seed and potentially finding yourself up against Fnatic on the opposite side and being the third seed and finding yourself up against Misfits, that's pretty massive.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of implications moving forward. And I just want to say that I very much enjoyed that game. It was a great cast. Always fun. Pleasure.
I love self-praise on broadcast. Always carries over well.
But it was made great thanks to what was a great game. We saw Fizz, we saw Talon, we saw the Vladimir, not quite as exciting, but the Kog'Maw Lulu finally came out. Not quite as successful as perhaps Origen would have liked. They really did struggle during the laning phase. A lot of pressure being exerted from the Camille and the Ezreal bottom lane. And it's cool to see how aggressive you can actually be with that duo combo. Mikyx, so much confidence, getting so many stuns off and plays. Like, he is so good at that champion.
Well, as exciting as the bottom lane duo was from OG, we have to look at the top lane when we want to talk player of the series, because it was Wunder coming through for this team overall.
Very deserving.
And absolutely deserving. 2 games on the Fizz. Now, admittedly, game 1 was clean, dirty. I don't really know how you want to describe it. It was good. It was a very good game. Game 2, a little sloppier, but still an impressive performance overall. And I gotta say, I love seeing the Fizz come out. It's a very exciting pick to watch. How viable is it? That's a question we'll see in coming weeks, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I like the fact that we are seeing these new picks with Blade of the Ruined King. I've been reading a lot from analysts and coaches and players all saying as to how 7.5 is like such a fun patch because of how much it opens, and I think that we're only scratching the surface right now. I feel like North America's more of the region that will experiment with picks, so expect to see a couple of crazy stuff coming out from them later on. But still, the fact that we are seeing these new innovations and changes in the meta is really cool to see. And Splyce seem to always be the team to deliver on these new champions.
Yeah, I really want to see, because normally we see 1 week before the meta settles, and it feels like every single game this week has had a different composition, different strengths. We see a lot of Talon come out. Vladimir rising again in popularity, seeing a lot of bans this week. The mid lane has changed completely. The bot lane has changed completely. Top lane admittedly changed back in 7-4, but I feel like every single role has seen changes, and as it's wide open. Is Fizz the right pick? Will we see the Akali? Probably not, but I'd love to see it. Like, there's so much room for experimentation.
There is potential, but she is a very difficult to execute champion. Doesn't quite have the same
That's his
level
way of saying
freedom.
it's bad. It's not a very good, it doesn't have CC, it doesn't have
No, I mean, she's very all in, and she's not very all out, right? Like, whereas Fizz is a champion that can go into fights.
Champions that don't have the flexibility of going in or out, I feel like generally struggle a little bit. You can't just have a champion that goes forward. Generally does not work.
Exactly.
End of the day, though, still a very good series overall, I think, from this team. And I think for Splyce, they can be happy with that win. It is the 2-0 in the end. It is very clean. But for more on that 2-0 from Splyce, Pyrotechnics is standing by with their jungler.